Coming up on episode 21 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
Everything is awesome.
Lando Calrissian. He's a card player, gambler, scoundrel, dancer.
Hey, you know, Spielberg wants to write you a letter, and I thought it was a big joke. I thought somebody was playing a trick on me. For me, it was always about playing Indy, and wanting to be Indiana Jones in that world.
Don't call me Junior.
If only you spoke Jovitos.
We doused Eric's back with gasoline that day, and had a kind of a hard time getting him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Listen.
A billion years in the making.
Off to Neverland.
What do you know?
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $3 goodbye.
Hey, Skywalkers. So, did you have a week like ours? Because ours was awesome!
Everything is awesome.
Now, not only did we have the Clone Wars to look forward to, but other breaking news happened. Now, we'll get to that in just a couple seconds. But we want to tell you what's coming up on episode 21.
That's right.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, everyone. This is Richard.
Oh, and this is his wife, Sarah.
Hey, sweetie.
Also known as Jedi Tink. So thanks for coming back and listening to us on Skywalking Through Neverland, the podcast that celebrates what fans like you love. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and our own website. If you're watching us there, hi.
Hey. Now, coming up on today's show, we talk to Chris Strompolos, who is the producer, and he also played Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Adaptation, which is a shot-to-shot remake fan film he and a bunch of his buddies have been working on for 26 years.
Wow, goodness. So they started in, they were what, like 10 years old?
Yeah, they started back in 1982.
My goodness. Now, last week on Tuesday, we woke up to some interesting news.
Wait, wasn't it Wednesday?
Tuesday, March
Tuesday.
4th.
All right, this week has been a blur.
Yeah.
This is like the equivalent of a new Star Wars film opening. We've been waiting for the Clone Wars it's been
over a year.
Just a few days over a year. So my mind has just been a blur of Friday, Clone Wars. So it's like the equivalent of a new Star Wars film opening.
Or Christmas Day.
So it was Tuesday. And I looked at the wrap.com, and what did I see?
This is interesting. Lando.
The Lando system?
Lando's not a system. He's a man. Lando Calrissian. He's a card player, gambler, scoundrel, dancer.
Oh, he's a dancer?
That's right. He is now a dancer on Dancing with the Stars. Season 18.
Woohoo! I'm so excited.
You all know who Billy D. Williams is.
He plays that scoundrel Lando Calrissian
in The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and he also played Lando Calrissian in the Lego Movie.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when we're part of a team.
Oh, that's right.
Now, Billy D. Williams is going to be teamed up with Emma Slater.
Yeah.
Last season is when she danced with Bill Engvall.
Bill Engvall.
Yeah, him.
You just roll it out.
Yeah,
roll it over.
He's a comedian, and comedians don't really last long on Dancing with the Stars.
But he totally did.
But point being, Emma brought him right up to the semifinals.
That's true.
So you know Emma Slater is a really good dancer. Now, I'm guessing Billy D. Williams is up on Dancing with the Stars for a couple of reasons. One, he wants to put himself back out there.
Okay.
Because they are about to sign contracts for episode 7. So I'm sure he wants to put himself back in the public eye.
That's kind of smart.
Yeah, don't forget about me. And Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill were assigned trainers to get back into shape. Well, what's going to get you back into shape better than dancing?
That's true.
So highest kudos for thinking this through. A couple of seasons ago, Little Kim was dancing with Derek Huff, and they did an interview with her doctor because she'd sprained something. And they said that she was dancing enough where she could eat 4 of those Haagen-Dazs pints a day and not gain an ounce. That's how much dancing will get you into shape.
Holy
now,
cow.
Bill Engvall, he lost 25 pounds last season.
Wow.
25 pounds.
Well, I know Kirsten
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley also
Oh, yeah, she really slimmed
lost
down.
a bunch.
Yeah, so he's going to look like he's in great shape come the end of the season, which is May, which is just about when they start shooting episode 7.
Was he in talks to do it, or you think he just wants to be in it?
Yeah, who knows?
Okay, all right.
He's gunning for it. And
Yeah.
How do you bring back Mark, Harrison, and Carrie and not bring back Billy D. Williams?
Yeah.
That would just be a slap in the face.
Aw.
So he's going to be in it. But shooting begins in May, so by the time he's done with, considering he goes through to the end, which I know he will,
Come on, fans, vote, vote, vote.
he's going to be in great shape when it's time to shoot for episode 7.
Okay.
Now, one thing that worries me is that the last couple of conventions, he's been walking with a cane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He could have been just having surgery or something and recovering.
Yeah, but it's been a couple of years, so maybe like Fred Astaire, they'll work the cane into the bit.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. I hope he does well, so everyone, even if you don't watch Dancing with the Stars on Monday and Tuesday nights, just go to Facebook and just vote for him, even if you hadn't seen the show.
Yeah.
But watch the show. I was hooked.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I would never, ever watch a show like Dancing with the Stars. And it's
Then you married me, and then you started watching all these crazy reality shows.
yeah. But then again,
But then it's fun because we live in LA, so we actually get to attend some of these tapings. And the Dancing with the Stars taping is super fun to attend.
it is like a big party.
Yeah.
Plus, you get to see all these hot dancers all spray tanned.
Really? I didn't think about that part.
Me neither. Now, other contestants this season is going to be Danica McKellar,
Who's that?
Winnie from the Wonder Years.
Oh, yeah.
Little Winnie.
I can't even think of her as Dan. It's Winnie. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, and Nene Leakes, who she's on some reality show, and
Yep.
she was on Celebrity Apprentice, and she's on Glee.
She's making the celebrity show circuit, I suppose.
But she's funny.
Yeah.
She's really, really funny. And now one that you thought was really interesting was the ice dancing partners.
Meryl Davis and Charlie White, who just won a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. Now, someone had posted on Facebook putting ice dancing people on Dancing with the Stars pitted against people who aren't
That's not even fair.
dancing
That's
people.
not
I
even
know.
fair.
It's like, that kind of sucks. But what's interesting, though, is they have been partners since they were like 10 years old. So, but now they're broken up because they have to dance with other dancing partners. So I think that the dynamics of that will be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't see that ending well. Now, the big news about this whole thing is that we put together, or more, you put together, this banner.
Well, yeah, on Tuesday when it was announced that that Billy D. Williams was on Dancing with the Stars.
You can call him Lando.
I know. I put together just a quick Photoshop of the Dancing with the Stars logo with Lando in his outfit.
The very
with his
iconic
cape.
Empire Strikes Back publicity shot.
Yeah, with his cape, swirling on the logo. So this
was something quick that we just wanted to put up on Facebook.
Yeah.
To tell everyone, hey guys, look what's happening to Billy D.
So yeah, I put it on Facebook, I put it on Twitter, and lo and behold, over the next day, that photo, actually the next couple days, that photo got retweeted about 30 times. And a lot of people on Facebook saw it. They just thought it was cute and shared it. So on Friday morning, I finished my morning run, and I look at my
We're at the
phone.
gym.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for Sarah in the lobby. And Sarah comes running over screaming.
I'm like, Richard. Well, I looked at my phone right after my run, and I see on Twitter, Emma and Billy at Team Emma Slater had tweeted me, can we use your picture as our header for our Billy and Emma DWTS account? Dancing with the Stars account. So here they were asking me if they could use their picture for their Twitter account header. And so, of course, I replied back, I'd be honored if you would use my picture. Skywalking Pod, Jedi Tink, and Sithridge are rooting for you. And so they used it. So if you were on Facebook on Friday, you saw the craziness that ensued because I posted pictures of all of this. And it was very exciting. And we were all excited.
And then we went back and forth a couple of times with Team Slando.
Yeah, it's Slando. Yeah, hashtag Team Slando.
Yeah, and now we got to keep voting for them because the longer they're on the show, the more we're going to see your awesome banner.
Yeah, that too. So I thought that was really sweet of them to ask to use the banner. And then later on, they tweeted between Lando's account, I keep calling it, between Billy D's account and the Emma Slater account, they tweeted, oh, that looks like a really nice banner. And the other one, who did it? Oh, it was at Skywalking Pod. So it was really cute. They gave me a shout out, or us a shout out on Twitter.
And of course, we did say, hey, if you guys can spare a few minutes, do an interview for Skywalking Through Neverland, it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, so that's out there. So, cross your fingers for us.
Yeah, they're devoting most of their time to dance rehearsals. So
yeah, who knows?
So we're gonna try to score that interview for you.
Yes.
So the season premiere begins Monday, March 17th on ABC.
We'll be watching.
And you will too, right? Now, a couple of days later, The Clone Wars: The Lost Missions up on Netflix on Friday morning, and they put up the new episodes at 2:30 in the morning.
Wow, you know what? I saw some tweets from our Jedi friend, like Jedi UK News, that had seen it that early, because for them that was like 9 a.m. or something, or 2, I don't know, but they had seen it and they were all excited about it, and they couldn't really tweet about it because no one was up yet to share in their excitement.
And we had to work that morning, so
we had to work all day.
It was like having Christmas morning, and there's all the presents, but you can't open them.
No.
So that was very, very tough. And I know last week we were talking about binge watching, which I think I declared we wouldn't.
No, you said, who are you kidding? We are going to binge watch.
Yeah. And for the most part, we did, but we didn't.
Well, we've gotten halfway about?
We just
almost halfway.
Finished episode 6.
Yeah.
So we finished up the Order 66 arc and the Rush Clovis arc. Mm-hmm. The one disappointment about this whole thing is that they're not going to be shown in theaters.
Yeah, well, honestly, this whole series needs to be shown in theaters, I think. I mean, it's just beautiful to watch.
You know what they should do is just play all 6 seasons at the next celebration up on the digital screen.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be so beautiful to watch.
Just like over and over again.
Now, typically at the celebrations, I don't like to sit down and watch a movie or something because there's so much to do that you don't want to rewatch something you've already seen. But then again, we've never seen these on the big screen, so they would just be beautiful. In fact, we saw the Darth Maul Savage Opress.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it was the Night Sisters arc.
Yeah.
When they showed that in the theaters in Hollywood back December of 2011.
Yeah, I think so.
And it was just beautiful.
That was so cool.
Yeah, so we did watch 2 of the arcs, and the Order 66 was very interesting because they finally give you some more information about Order 66, other than Palpatine saying,
"Execute Order 66."
Yeah, that was pretty much all we got. And so this time it's hard to talk about these without talking about these.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything.
So maybe we'll come back to this in a couple of weeks because everything we say is going to be a spoiler.
Yeah.
But do you know what this is?
What?
Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
We're gonna keep on playing that throughout the whole show.
Are we gonna play the actual?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God.
So back in 1981, my friend Jimmy Pruitt, who you've heard on the show many times before, he and I were planning out this shot-to-shot remake of The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
We had all these action figures, and we were going to do it with the action figures.
Wow, you would have been ahead of your time.
We had everything. We converted Jimmy's basement to a studio. I didn't know squat about filmmaking, but I was looking at the Art of the Empire Strikes Back books, and they just had lots of production storyboards and stuff. So we made storyboards.
Oh.
And we thought, okay, wouldn't it be cool to shoot it this way and this way? And we never got a camera or squat.
Oh.
That dream went through 2 or 3 sets of friends.
Oh, really?
And it was never made. Unlike our next guest, Chris Strompolos, who had made the remake of Raiders of the Lost Ark and actually did it. Whereas I talked about it, this man did it. So sit back and enjoy this really, really fun interview with the producer of Raiders of the Lost Ark, the adaptation.
Be
be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin on your necessary and we'll provide the rest. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvres.
In a day where remakes are frowned upon, this is one that everyone can get excited about, especially the fan filmmakers. As kids, Chris Strompolos and his buddies made a shot-to-shot remake of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which started production in 1982.
31 years after starting this colossal endeavor, Chris is trying to finish this feature-length fan film with the help from fans on Kickstarter.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, guys.
You and your friends must have been really ambitious to want to make a huge film like Raiders. How old were you, and what led you to this?
Well, we started when we were 10 and 11 years old. I got the idea in July of '81, of course. When I saw the film, I was very, very inspired by it. And in riding the school bus back and forth across the Mississippi Gulf Coast back in the 80s, I met Eric Zala, who went on to become the film's director and my best friend and producing partner of 30 years. And so, we just started. We had no idea what we were getting into, and we would spend the next 7 years recreating the film shot for shot to the best of our ability.
When you first started, how did you think this was going to end up? Or I know as kids, what we see in our heads is so much different than what we see in reality.
It is. We didn't really have any concept. We weren't visually savvy. I mean, we loved movies, but setting up a camera and getting that shot and all those sorts of things is a whole other learning process. So, we didn't know how to work a camera. We didn't know where to even get a camera. So we were really starting from the most embryonic place that you could possibly imagine. Internet didn't exist. You couldn't download, filmmaking for teens off the internet, or go to the library. It was just kind of dive in and figure it out. We depended upon fan magazines and sort of indie paraphernalia that was circulating through stores and fan material that was coming out of Lucasfilm. So that was our main guide. We worked from memory for the first 3 years, actually.
Wow. Yeah. What led you to cast yourself as indie?
Well,
is that more your decision?
Yeah.
Of course it was. Yeah, I mean, I think that was the primary motivating variable for any 10 or 11-year-old boy is that, for me, it was always about playing indie.
Yeah.
It was always about role-playing and wanting to be Indiana Jones in that world. I mean, that was the most exciting element about it all. Eric, he loved Raiders, but he was very curious as to what a teenage version of Raiders would look like. And so we both had these things driving us. And, I think we both were seemingly satisfied with the overall the outcome, though getting there was certainly challenging, and it took a hell of a lot longer than we had thought.
Of course.
Just like any film.
Yeah. What was do you remember the first shot that you guys attempted?
Eric is better at this sort of chronological archive than myself. His memory for dates is pretty amazing. I think one of the first shots that we did was, I think it was me coming out of the cave. Was Indy, rolling out of the cave, too bad the Javitos, don't know you the way I do, Bella. I think that was one of the first shots. I could be wrong, but a lot of the jungle stuff, but we shot that stuff over and over and over again. I think we did the jungle scenes like 3 times.
If only you spoke Jovitos.
Yes.
Was this more of a fun summertime project to do with your friends, or as a kid, did you have aspirations to be a filmmaker and actor?
I had no aspirations to be a filmmaker, and I really wasn't thinking about the acting thing. I mean, I had kind of did some plays and stuff in school, but I didn't know if I wanted to go on and be an actor, so to speak. I just think it was, fun playing indie. As far as Raiders being a fun summer project, I don't know if we ever. I think we took ourselves so seriously that it was never considered like a fun summer project. It was like, we are doing Raiders, and that is what we are doing, and this is what we're working on, end of story, and it was never really in question. We were pretty pretty focused children.
Yeah,
Nice.
and Raiders being such a big film back in that day, was it easy to cast all the extra parts and all the other supporting players?
No, it was very, very hard. We had to beg and ask and plead. And Eric was in charge of managing the sort of beaten list of extras and actors and things like that we would call back summer after summer, because it wasn't so much difficult to get people to help us for maybe a few days in the summer schedule, but as you well know, filmmaking requires a certain level of stamina, and there are great moments of time where it's just not fun, and you have to sort of power through. So it was difficult to get people to come back, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in 1981, I attempted a shot-to-shot remake of The Empire Strikes Back, and I lost a lot of friends that year.
Yeah, it's filmmaking can certainly serve as a great filter for it.
Very well said. Now, how much did you spend on the film, and how did you raise money as kids?
We did no fundraising. There was no budget. We had no financial projections. We were not that savvy. It was simply like we sort of, begged, borrowed, and stole what we could, digging through our parents' closets and going to Goodwill. And I think we never really know for sure, but we project the budget out somewhere around $5,000.
Wow.
As kids, you raised $5,000?
We didn't assemble the budget at the beginning and then start shooting over the 7 years. This was like, Christmas presents and allowances and, hey, can I mow your lawn or walk your dog or clean the garage or, deliver pizzas or, this was a collective thing. We really have no idea.
Wow. Wow. Now, you mentioned that for the first 3 years you shot from memory. After that point, did you get Raiders on video to help you?
Not video, on Laserdisc.
Ah, nice.
Yes. So we had that. And then I think later on we would go back to the theater and watch it, but we didn't watch it as many times as that you would imagine. We relied on comic books and the Cosden script that had been published with certain storyboards. And Eric assembled all this stuff into a singular place and literally sat down one summer and hand drew 600 storyboards, I think it was.
Wow.
And based on what our working knowledge of the structure of Raiders was, and it served as our Bible, our shooting Bible for the remaining time. And when we were able to see it on Laserdisc, it actually was fairly accurate.
Wow.
Goodness.
Now, who was the core group in this filmmaking team?
Well, you hear the words Raiders guys thrown around a little bit, and that typically refers to Eric and myself. But actually, the Raiders guys is Eric, myself, and Jason Lamb. Jason was there from the very beginning, and he was there until the very, very end. And Jason is definitely, part of the trio. The Raiders guys was definitely a trio. And so Jason Lamb did all the camera work, he did all the special effects, and he did all the makeup.
Wow.
And you guys remain friends throughout the whole shooting?
All relationships have their ups and downs. Eric and I have been more aligned along this whole journey since our film has gotten discovered. Jason, is right there along with us, but he tends to, he's sort of he's quiet and we keep him informed. He's in Oakland and he's working as an AV tech there and sort of likes to keep to himself.
And we were watching some of these clips on YouTube, and wow, for kids of your age, I still don't know how you pulled some of this stuff off. What were some of the hardest scenes that you recall shooting? And tell us about the boulder scene.
There's scenes that are hard and fun, and then there's scenes that are hard and miserable. Hard and fun was probably the truck scene. Hard and very, very challenging were the excavation scenes where we had weather issues and mud and heat and a bunch of teenagers out in the middle of the country who were hungry and thirsty and tired. It's a variable for Lord of the Flies kind of situation. The boulder went through many different manifestations. I'll tell you the first one and the last one. The first one was Eric and I went into our backyard and we chopped down a bunch of bamboo and got cardboard and masking tape and or duct tape rather, and we built this big skeleton of bamboo and wrapped cardboard around it, and we thought it was really, really cool and really awesome. We were very, very proud of ourselves and stayed up all night doing it, and we realized upon completing it that the damn thing was much too large to get out of my bedroom. So, fast forward, 4 different versions of the boulder later, everything from chicken wire to a weather balloon to a telephone wire cable spool. The final boulder was made out of fiberglass. Eric and Jason found a fiberglass artist. They dug a hole in the ground. They created a perfectly spherical half with a plumb line. They lined it with fiberglass. They popped out the half, repeated the process, put the 2 halves together, and then we rolled the boulder down 2 40-foot-long telephone poles mounted inside of Eric's mom's garage.
Wow.
Good Lord.
How big was this garage?
It was lengthy. It wasn't very tall, but we managed.
I've worked in fiberglass, and that stuff is not easy to work with.
Oh, it's gnarly. Yeah, fiberglass is terrible, terrible stuff.
Yeah, you could be hermetically sealed to work with fiberglass. If that stuff touches you, you just itch for weeks.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
So, were there ever any incidents where you got crushed by it?
It hit me a couple times. It was pretty heavy, but nothing bad.
What happened to the boulder afterwards?
The boulder has actually sustained a life right alongside us. It's been pretty amazing. It's been in Eric's mom's house for going on 30 years. It was sucked away in Katrina and literally floated across the swamp into another neighborhood. and Eric's mom's husband, Dave, he actually found it. We thought it was gone, but somebody found this massive fiberglass boulder sitting in their front yard, and so I think they loaded it up onto a truck, and it's sitting proudly amongst bamboo in the back of Eric's mom's house, which is still there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. No, I'm not sure whose boulder that is, Mrs. Johnson. Sorry.
Wow.
When was your very first screening, and how was that received?
We first screened it in 1989 at the Allen Beverage soda bottling plant in Gulfport, Mississippi, for friends and family. We had a champagne reception. The 3 of us poured out of a limousine, which was great, and it was fantastic. It was the first time that our parents had seen some of the footage of me dragging behind the truck and Eric on fire and all sorts of things, and we obviously got quite a surprised reaction from our folks, and then it sort of went onto our shelves for many years, and we didn't screen it much after that.
Now that's one shot that I was very interested in, where he was literally on fire.
Yeah.
Did you know anything about safety precautions, or did you just throw caution to the wind?
Yeah, there was no caution. Really
Oh my gosh.
It was, in fact, we were using isopropyl alcohol mainly.
Oh no!
But for that day when Eric posed as the ratty Nepalese that Indy shoots and his head pops back and with a gunshot and he falls down into a blaze of fire, we doused Eric's back with gasoline that day, and had a kind of a hard time getting him out, but used a fire extinguisher.
Oh my gosh.
Did you wait for your mom to leave the house to do those scenes?
Oh, she had no idea what we were in the basement. We lit the whole under part of the basement on fire that was under the kitchen rather, and Eric's mom had no idea we were doing that.
Wow. Did she smell anything funny after she came home that day?
Like burnt hair?
No. Many years later, she found some charred wire when they were renovating the house and placed it in front of Eric, as an adult, and said, "Does this ring any bells?"
Nope, not at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, what happened after 1989? How was it rediscovered?
Well, we all went our separate ways. We went off to college, and we screened it for friends and here and there, but nothing very public, and sort of shelved it away. Eric and I both used it to get into college, and all kind of again went our separate ways. It was rediscovered, I think, in 2002 by filmmaker, producer, actor Eli Roth, and Eli was an NYU grad, and Eric had gone to NYU a handful of years before that. And Eli Roth got a copy of it through his friend Gabe Friedman, who got a copy of it from a gentleman by the name of Frank Reynolds, who was Eric's previous roommate. and who they also went to NYU. Frank is an Oscar-nominated editor and is a professor now in New York, and very, very skilled editor. And so Eli's film got picked up in Toronto, Cabin Fever, and was taking meetings around town and passed it through to Spielberg's office, and also passed it through to Tim and Carrie League at the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, Texas, now world famous, and then also Harry Knowles with Ain't It Cool News, and put us on the map. And we were reunited in 2002, I think it was, for a world premiere and a Raiders Guys reunion, and there we are. We're back in the spotlight.
Wow.
You said that your film was going through all these hands, like Eli Roth and up to Spielberg. Did you know anything like this was going on at the time?
Eli had passed it on to Spielberg, and then that's when he got in touch with us and said, "Hey, I'm Eli Roth. You don't know who I am, but and this is after I had completely forgotten about Raiders. I had tucked it away. I got married. My wife had no idea I wasn't even an Indiana Jones fan. I mean, I was so buried away. I had pushed my past far behind me and moved on. And so Indiana Jones was not even really sort of in my vocabulary anymore, And Eli, kind of brought it back to, into the world of the living. And so, and then he told us about But-Numb-a-thon and Harry's, screening it at the festival down there, and people started kind of go crazy for it. So a lot of this was happening sort of word of mouth and behind, off the radar for us. And so Eli kind of reported back to us what was going on. It was very much a surprise.
Now, did Steven Spielberg call you directly?
Didn't call us directly. No, the first thing that happened is I dropped a copy of the Vanity Fair piece that came out in 2004, which is an amazing piece written by Jim Windolf. Great article. And so his publicist gave us a call, and anyway, so Spielberg, later he gave us a call, but Eli got in touch with us originally and said, "Hey, Spielberg wants to write you a letter," and I thought it was a big joke. I thought somebody was playing a trick on me,
Oh.
And so sure enough, like 10 days later, I get this beautiful letter from Steven, and on his personal stationery that is now proudly hanging on my wall. And then a few years later, Eric and Jason and I were in town for some publicity, and then his office called us, not him, of course, but his office, and he wanted us to stop by.
Wow.
And, so we stopped by his office and talked with him for about an hour, and he gave us a really nice compliment. He said, "Well, boys, I just wanted to meet you and let you know I watched your movie, and it inspired even me."
Oh, that's
Wow.
amazing.
Have you heard from George Lucas?
No, George has been quiet. He's been the sort of he's been quiet, but we haven't received any cease and desist letters from anybody. We've been up to the ranch, we've been up to the Presidio at Industrial Light and Magic and screened up there, and across the board we couldn't have been luckier. We received the blessing of all the powers that be, and we're very thankful. We've built in a charitable component to our film, and whenever we screen it, we donate money to charity, and so. Or the hosting organization that brings us in. So we're obviously not making any money from it, and so there's no legal overlap. The only thing that people have often questioned us about is the music, the John Williams soundtrack, and it's. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I mean, aside from we never licensed it, but with the airplane scene and certainly positioning it in the documentary, we are going to license the music.
Yeah, I noticed that Paramount Pictures has blocked the audio on YouTube because of copyright reasons. Have you thought about maybe writing your own score? That's very heavily inspired by the John Williams music?
Yeah, I don't think we have that effort in us to write a score. I'm sure somebody might do it, and actually it was the Warner Chappell taking it down was actually part of my efforts. It wasn't Warner Chappell. It was me. People, ours is a fan film, and people, in the fan film world, have a certain sort of, and also just people across the board with film and media these days and the internet, they, a lot of people feel that they are entitled to content, and that they can take it and post it and do whatever they want with it. And agreed, ours is a fan film and a direct copy of the original. But, I still want to have a certain level of control over it as to where it screens. And I just think that our film isn't meant to be screened on YouTube in its entirety or in somebody's iPhone. I mean, it's a collective experience where you're sitting in a theater with a bunch of hardcore fans and enjoying it. And that's what I'd like to control. And the only way that I could go about doing that is going ahead and literally having our movie taken off the net, and the music was a way to do that, because otherwise we didn't really have a case.
Right. So where can people see what you've done so far?
Well, the most exciting aspect of our Kickstarter thing is that for years and years and years, people haven't been able to see our movie. There's no copies of it. You can't buy it. You can't stream it. You can't find it anywhere. You can't rent it. The only place to see it is when we screen it live at film festivals or microcinemas or museums or schools or anything like that, and we kind of pop up every now and then. But now you can actually have your own copy of our movie, which has been long in the making, with a small pledge. We have digital downloads, and we also have DVDs, and we'll sign DVDs and all that kind of stuff through our Kickstarter campaign. So it's the first time that our movie has been made available out there, and we're hoping that drives traffic to our campaign.
Now, on these screenings, do you just leave out the scene of the plane?
For now, there is no scene of the plane.
Okay.
We never shot it. We fumbled with certain ideas with it, and choreographed it, and bought a bald wig, and had like a fan that we took apart for close-ups of the propellers. But inevitably the plane has to blow up, and we couldn't really figure that part out. So we just left it out altogether. And over the years, people have always asked us about the airplane scene, and then it started becoming sort of a joke, like, when are you guys going to go back and do the airplane scene and drop it in? And the idea was always a humorous one, but since our book, Raiders by Alan Eisenstock, Alan wrote a book about us that was published about a year ago through St. Martin's Press, and it was well received. Jeremy Kuhn, who produced Napoleon Dynamite, optioned the book and is turning our story into a documentary and a narrative feature. And so as part of the documentary, I had the idea, sure, it would be cool to go back now that we're in our 40s and at long last shoot the airplane sequence and drop it in, and then kind of document it, and then just tell our story along lines of as children and adults. And the idea caught on, but of course, building an airplane and blowing it up is a very expensive idea, and so we are now smack dab in the middle of a feverish Kickstarter campaign, and we're trying to raise that money.
Now, you have until March the 12th, correct, to raise $50,000 on Kickstarter?
Yeah, March 13th, I think, is our cutoff. March 13th at like 4 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah. How much money have you raised so far?
Just about 80%.
Wow. Yeah. Looking at it here, it's $39,850.
There you go.
Oh, just a few dollars away.
Yeah. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, and we've got everything from new outtakes to some, big splashy finale that we're planning. Multiple interviews, podcasts like this. We're doing press. I have an interview with a large Canadian TV station on Monday morning. I have to get up at like 3 a.m. And so we're pushing it, anywhere and everywhere, from contacting fans to large magazines, everybody and anybody who will push our campaign. Yeah. Anybody who hasn't done a Kickstarter campaign, know that when you get into it, it is going to be an amazing amount of work. It is an extraordinary amount of work doing a Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, for anyone who has not been involved in a Kickstarter campaign, I've been involved in a couple, and it's very infectious, meaning you do one, then you see your name in the credits, then you want to do another one, and just seeing what you can contribute to bring a project to completion is such a great high.
Yep. Yeah, cool. And that's a good feeling. And it's that kind of mentality that's going to take this thing over the finish line. We're hoping that catches on.
What rewards, other than the digital downloader, is being offered?
Oh, we've got signed books. We've got fragments of the Well to Soul set from our childhood well set that was destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. We've got T-shirts. We've got rare posters. We have Let's see, we have visits to the set. We have VIP invitations to the documentary premiere. We have, we can offer you a part actually in the scene. We have, upwards on the rewards scale. I'm actually offering my jacket that I wore for the full 7 years of our original shoot. The Ark of the Covenant prop, my bullwhip, one of my last remaining bullwhips that I used for the scene. And so, digital scrapbook that nobody's ever seen, lots of stuff. We definitely suggest people to go there and check out to see what their comfort level is.
How much do you have to contribute to play the part of the German mechanic?
The German mechanic is where we're thinking about casting that out of Mississippi. We have the pilot cast, obviously me and Marion, Belloc, Dietrich, Gobler, but the mechanic has not been cast yet. The bald Nazi has not been cast yet, but hey, if somebody wants to drop in some money and give us a damn fine audition, great.
Now you're gonna play the role of Indiana Jones, and you're about 30 years older than you were when you first started?
This is correct.
That is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny, and so I'm doing my best to get back in shape, and we're working with an amazing costumer, Todd's Costumes, Todd Coyle, out of Pine Mountain, California, who's handling all of our costumes, and we're very lucky. We've got extraordinary energy. We just need the funds to do it.
Now, Disney Hollywood Studios in Orlando has that exact set piece, the plane. Have you thought about contacting them, or have you contacted them to see if you could borrow their plane?
And German mechanic?
Sarah, it depends on how nerdy you want this conversation to get.
Oh, bring it on.
Okay, I'm going to bring it on.
All right.
That's actually not an exact, it's not the exact flying wing that we would hope for. It's sort of a truncated, weird sort of looking version of it. It's okay. But, if we're going to do this, we need to do it. And we need to build this thing to look as screen accurate as possible. And the one that they use in Disney is certainly not.
Okay. I didn't know that.
If we're going to do it, let's do it. We're going to go for it,
So you say when you're all completed and have everything done, you're going to have more screenings to help raise money for charities. What charities are you raising money for?
Let's say that we have a cinema that we screen at. They have a charity that they want to work with. We've donated money to Doctors Without Borders for tsunami relief when the big tsunami hit. We've, the AIDS Foundation, Canadian Cancer Society, along with additional cancer research. We give a lot of money to film education for children. Kids and teens that are interested in filmmaking. That in support of the programs that give them workshops and tutorials. We fully funded a program out of Portland. For like 18 kids or something like that were sort of like, needing some support. And we fully funded, the entire program for these kids. So things like that, it's a case-by-case situation. We don't have a select charity that we only work with. It's kind of like screening by screening.
Now, you've had some screenings recently. How did they go?
Mostly on a promotional level. And I just got back from Houston and screened at the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston there, and it was an extraordinary turnout. Very, very well supported, and it was great. A big audience. We did sort of a Kickstarter kickoff here locally in Los Feliz at the Bigfoot Lodge. That was, it was a handful of people, maybe 15 or 20 people, but it was a quiet, intimate bar gathering where we screened it in the back. So we're used to big screenings and small screenings.
And you've had sold-out screenings all over the world, right?
This is correct, yeah. I mean, we did like 5 or 6 nights in Toronto one time, multiple screenings, and sold out every single show. I think our largest house, with people being turned away, is like 800 people.
My goodness.
Wow, did you ever think?
Never.
This is like rock star stuff.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
When is the next screening?
Nothing planned right now. Basically my energy and effort and time and every single breathing moment of my bandwidth is spent bringing this Kickstarter campaign over the line. What we're trying to do is our next screening might be next week in Nevada. We might have the Nevada premiere in Las Vegas. in alignment with a large company, but we don't know yet. We're still kind of working on it. You know, we've got friends who are at companies sort of everywhere who are like having internal employee screenings and doing fundraising for us. And, you know, so we'll see. But Nevada would be our next screening, I think.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, Alan Eisenstock has written a book about the making of this fan film called Raiders, the story of the greatest fan film ever made.
Yep.
And now Jeremy Kuhn, like you had mentioned earlier, the producer of Napoleon Dynamite, has optioned your story to make a documentary and a narrative feature.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what are the updates on those projects?
Well, the documentary is well underway. We've been traveling all over the place, or Jeremy has, with director Tim Skusen, and we've got, you know, hundreds of hours of footage, you know, that they're putting together, everything from outtakes to new footage, and they're traveling and interviewing. We spent 2 weeks in Mississippi, bringing them through the old sort of stomping grounds and showing them, you know, everything, and interviewing our moms, but also a lot of the airplane stuff, you know, meeting pyrotechnics people and scouting locations. We've been posting a lot of that stuff on our Kickstarter page as well. It's in full swing. The documentary is in full swing. The narrative features in discussion. We're overcoming some licensing hurdles, but that's just par for the course. So that's where we're at. We're working with Jeremy. Is pretty amazing. He's a fantastic producer. He's a kind man and very nice and very smart and very savvy, and you know, lots of exciting stuff going on.
In the narrative, are you going to play yourself?
No. I'm sure they'll find some sort of, like, you know, chubby Greek kid with a Southern accent.
Or maybe Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Putting Harrison in it, yeah, that'd be amazing.
That would be cool.
Or the next step, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yeah, but he'll have to, you know, perform in the whole rest of the movie with a paper bag over his head.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he and his ego and the rest of the cast and crew can fit in the same room together. Now, how can people get a hold of you to help other than Kickstarter if they want to donate something, if they want to help in any way?
RaidersGuys@gmail.com. We have a Twitter account, RaidersGuys, @RaidersGuys. We have a Facebook account, Raiders Guys, that links to Raiders, the story of the greatest fan film ever made. I'm on Facebook personally. Eric is on Facebook personally. If people want to not go the Kickstarter route, they can write us checks to our production company, Rolling Boulder Films, that goes directly to the Kickstarter project. I mean, directly to the Flying Wing scene. You know, we're always open to ideas and partnerships and cooperation and collaboration. You know, it's just we're very easy to get in touch with.
But we're definitely going to donate today because we want to see this film finished. And we want to help in any way. We're going to put your links all on our website and our Facebook page, and we really want to see this done.
Cool. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. We've done fan films ourselves, so we know that completing it is just such a huge, huge step. And sometimes you just want to move on with your life, but you can't because these films are just minutes and dollars away from being finished.
Exactly. I mean, it's you know, you have to finish it, right? I mean, it's you can't just, you know, it's all talk otherwise. You know,
Yeah.
you have to like bring it over the finish line.
Yeah, I've got a couple of fan films under my belt that I've almost given up on, but it's like, you know what? Everyone says just move on, but you just know you can't until you have it done the way you want it done.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm 42 and I'm still working on the same damn fan film that I started when I was 10 years old. So tell me about it.
Yeah, Richard, you've taken like 4 years to finish yours.
I've taken 4 to 5 years to finish some, so obviously you have.
I'm in year 26.
All right, you are the king.
You win.
Well, Chris, thank you very much, and we're gonna do the best we can to help you push you over this $50,000 goal.
Cool. I appreciate your support. Thanks for having me on the show, and let me know when the links are up, and we can take this podcast and pass it around.
Sounds good.
Great. Spread the word, guys. Thank you.
Until next time. Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm Chris Strompolos, producer of Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Adaptation, and I'm skywalking through Neverland.
So as of this recording right now, it is Saturday, March the 8th. And what is their
On Kickstarter campaign, they have $45,009 have been pledged of their $50,000 goal with 4 days to go.
They need $5,000.
Mm-hmm. They're just they might just squeak under the wire, but just go there and give them, I don't know, $5, $25, whatever, whatever you can.
You can pledge $1.
Yeah.
And they want to shoot the airplane scene from Raiders where Indy and the German mechanic get into the big brawl.
Yeah.
And spoiler, Indy wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, just go to Kickstarter, Raiders, and search Raiders Guys. I'm sure it'll pop up, but the actual title of it is Raiders Guys and the Lost Airplane Scene.
Now help them get a 26-year dream completed.
Wow. We want to thank you for listening to Skywalking Through Neverland, and we actually would really love you to join our community on Facebook. We have a great fan community, and we've started to implement new things that everyone can join in on. So we have a question of the day, which is something fun, like what would Elsa from Frozen eat for breakfast? What would she eat, Richard?
She would eat Frosted Flakes.
I kind of liked Ice Krispies.
Oh.
Someone put that up.
That's a good one.
I know.
Every day of the week we'll have a fun new question.
Yeah, as well as This Day in Star Wars History. So
I've been working on that for 37 years.
Yeah. So this is a place where Richard can finally have an outlet for that. So both of these things have really taken hold, and a lot of people are liking them or sharing them or commenting. And we love that. We love having this community on Facebook. So if you go to facebook.com/skywalkingthrough-neverland, you can join us.
So this week we made a really good contact with David Parfit of Adventures by Daddy.
Yeah, the Adventures by Daddy blog, which is a family travel advice and escapist fun from a dad's perspective. That's his tagline.
What a cute idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. He blogs a lot about running and Disney parks and Universal parks, all kinds of news from there, as well as a lot of Run Disney events.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and there's a spoiler-free review of Peabody and Sherman. Which I thought was going to be a horrible movie, but when I did a party today, these kids, that's all they could talk about was Peabody and Sherman.
Really?
Yeah, but it's taken off. And if you want to see a review, you can go to Adventures by Daddy.
AdventuresByDaddy.com. Also, you can see on there our first blog post about the Run Disney Princess Half Marathon. It's the weekend review and podcast. So check out Adventures by Daddy and say hello from Skywalking Through Neverland. Shoutouts this week. Well, we are unhappy to report that there are no new iTunes or Stitcher reviews. Sad face. However,
it's been a tough week, okay?
Well, no, it's been an
People were
exciting
gearing
week.
up for the Clone Wars. So,
That's true. Okay.
So we forgive you.
Fine. But so I did want to give a shout out to some other people, including Kenny Crayley Jr. He shares a lot of our Skywalking posts on Facebook with a bunch of his groups. He's a member of a bunch of Star Wars groups, and he shares posts there. So that's really great. And also, I want to give a shout out to Jedi News UK. That's jedinews.co.uk. And they post our podcast every week.
Boy, Mark Newbold over there, he is on top of it.
Yes.
I think he knows the news before the news happens.
I know. Mark Newbold and also Teresa Delgado, whom we know. She also writes on that site as well.
I think their midi-chlorians are even higher than Anakin's. They truly post the news as it's happening.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun site to keep tabs on. So once again, that's jedinews.co.uk.
Hit it, R2.
Star Wars is everywhere.
My name, you know, is C-3PO.
Kellogg's C-3POs.
Oh, no! Detonation! Who? I'm a teenager from outer space.
In the mid-1980s, I had stumbled across a shot-to-shot fan film where a bunch of kids, well, really in their early teens, did their own remake of Star Wars. Now, they had made their own sets and costumes, and for kids, they did a really nice job. Now, I don't know who they are or where they came from, but I thought it was worth sharing. And hopefully, whoever these people are will see this and hear about it and come forward and say, hey, that was us.
Yeah, or if you know who they are.
This fan film was just buried on a VHS tape that I bought at a convention. Just
wow.
buried in there. So I've got no background on this. But once again, they just did a feature-length film. That's the thing. They did it on film. This wasn't video. They did it actually on celluloid.
Wow.
This is the first sequence to Star Wars when the stormtroopers bust into the Rebel blockade runner and attempt to take it over. Now, if you're just listening to this, you're going to have to go over to the enhanced video podcast to see the actual footage.
At skywalkingthrough.neverland.com. Wow, that was really great.
Yeah, they did a really nice job. Like the Vader costume from the neck down was really good.
Yeah, it was funny. You could tell they only had one stormtrooper.
No, I counted about 6.
And that one doorway.
And even they built a life-size R2-D2 and they made a C-3PO costume. That's not easy.
Oh my goodness, I saw that C-3PO. I was like, wow.
We want to show you one more clip. This is the End Death Star attack.
Biggs, Wigs, let's close it up. We're going in full throttle. That'll keep those fighters off my back. Look at that speed, the leg would roll off in time. That stabilizer fin is broken loose again. See if you can't lock it down.
So wasn't that worth investing a couple of minutes watching?
Absolutely.
Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
Well, to start out our Disney news of the week, we made a special annual pass holder visit to Captain America at Disneyland.
Yeah, he had a meet and greet. First there was Thor, now Cappy.
Yeah.
We got to meet Captain America, but when I called him Cappy, he had no idea what I was talking about.
No, I think he was a little young.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, that's that's Captain America's nickname in the comic book series. Cappy.
I didn't know that.
Neither did he.
No. Well, it was fun, but honestly, Richard, I think you're a cuter Captain America.
Of course.
And then we hopped on over to Thor because, well, we were right there.
Yeah, it's side by side. So you can't see Captain America without seeing Thor.
Yeah, in the Innoventions building.
So if you're at Disneyland anytime soon, take a wander over and meet Captain America and Thor. But when you're meeting Thor, stand as close to him as you can because he talks really, really softly.
Which you'd think it's Thor, he'd be booming.
Yeah, with a musical score behind him, he does this big Asgard speech. But it kind of sounds like this. Asgard. What? All I heard was Asgard.
As you're talking to people who can project, so.
But it was fun.
It was. Oh yeah. I think Thor was cuter. Not than you, but just cuter than Captain America.
So right next to Captain America and Thor, they've got this big Iron Man exhibit where they show you all of Iron Man's costumes from all the movies and all of the Phase 1 and Phase 2 and the diamond reactor and the round reactor. So it's really, so you get to see 3 Avengers. It's not a meet and greet, but they have all the costumes right there, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And for the little ones, they get to play this video game where they're put into Iron Man armor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, now, when are they going to have the Hulk?
Now, here's a fun story.
Okay.
Everyone knows Hard Rock Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So a long time ago, we're talking, I want to say mid-90s, they had a restaurant similar to Hard Rock Cafe, but all based on superheroes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they had walk-around characters, and they had on the walls, instead of seeing Gene Simmons' guitar from his farewell tour 1976 or Michael Jackson's Beat It jacket, they would have Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield.
Okay.
And all this fun stuff. And they would have all these characters. Well, they were still pretty much beta testing all this.
Okay.
And all the characters did pretty well, except for the Hulk. They had built this huge costume for the Hulk. But when he would walk by tables, he would just clear every single table he walked by.
With his hands?
His arms would drag on it because the guy inside, he couldn't see. And he would just clear all these dinner plates.
Oh gosh, I can just see it now.
Someone's got to have video of that. Well, then again, this was back in the mid-90s, so no one had an iPhone, of course.
Oh, darn it.
But people were on vacation. This is over at Universal Studios in Hollywood. Someone must have gotten this on video. If you do have it, let us know. Please send it in. I would love to see that.
Nice.
Because you know what happens when you get the Hulk angry?
He clears tables? The Run Disney Avengers Half Marathon now has a price tag.
I'm going to bet if it's Disney, it's pretty pricey.
Yeah, in fact, these Run Disney races has been going up in price. But just to remind everybody, the Avengers Superheroes Half Marathon is in Anaheim, California, November 14th through 16th. And the price for the half marathon is $195 if you sign up by April 29th.
Which isn't that bad. I thought it was going to be much more. But
really?
With all the swag, the T-shirts, the medals, and all the stuff that you get.
And the amount of time they have to keep stuff open and volunteers. And
that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
And the Avengers Superheroes 5K will be $70 by August 20th.
Yeah, that's doable.
Also, in Disney news, I'm excited because the new Starbucks in downtown Disney in Anaheim is opening on my birthday, March 10th. Yay! That's very cute. And another piece of news is the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which has been closed for quite some months, will now reopen on March 17th at Disneyland. And if you're an annual pass holder, they're going to have a special annual pass holder available, like it'll be open for annual pass holders starting March 13th. So if you have your annual pass, you show it at the entrance and you can get on the ride early. So, yay.
So this is the last podcast that we're going to do when you're the age of blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
So, happy early birthday.
Thanks. Countdown time to Celebration Anaheim.
Yep. Celebration Anaheim 2015. Happening April 16th through the 19th 2015. There's really no new information. We can tell you where it's going to be at the Anaheim Convention Center, 800 West Catella Avenue, Anaheim, California.
92802.
There you go. There's our Celebration Anaheim 2015 news.
Exciting, but how many days away is it? As of March 10th, my birthday.
As of your birthday, we are 400 days away.
Wow.
Count them.
400.
No, seriously, count them.
No.
Now, these last couple of weeks, we showed you some footage from Star Wars Celebration Zero, which was the Star Wars 10th Anniversary Convention. This was rare footage of R2 and 3PO and Darth Vader, who came up on stage before George Lucas came out. Now, this is a few minutes of George Lucas as he makes his very first convention appearance, as he talks about the future of Indiana Jones and the future of Star Wars movies. Now, we recorded this in a big ballroom, so the audio is going to be, well, less than perfect. But listen up, because if you listen very closely, you'll hear some really, really good stuff. And if you want to see the complete footage of R2 and 3PO and Darth Vader, who came out before George Lucas, look up the bonus content
at skywalkingthrough.neverland.com.
You'll see all of the footage in its entirety.
Hi. I just flew in from London, and I'm jet lagged, so if I don't make much sense, it's the Force. I really wanted to help make Star Wars what it was. It's will be. Sometime in the future. Not quite sure when. So when we get to the question part, we can forget that question. That's always the first one to get asked. Yes, sir. Quiet. Will we be seeing Indiana Jones again? Well, between flying to London to work on Willow and flying back here to work on Tucker, I am working on the third Indiana Jones. Yes?
In Star Wars, was the Stormtrooper blooper deliberate, accidental, or you guys were not even aware of it?
Which one?
It's a set of the Death Star, and they walked through.
I mean Luke?
No. Mark and Daniel and C-3PO were locked in the closet. 3 Stormtroopers blasted the door and marched in.
Right, oh yeah.
In the corner, was that something that got missed in the dailies, or was just that deliberately as a joke, or was it just...
It was something, it was reality. It was something that happened that we left in. There's actually a lot more of those than just that one, though. Look carefully this time.
Could you please explain the Journal of the Will?
I'm not sure I can do that. That was where the original Star Wars saga came from. It was a larger work that I had been working on that Star Wars was just a piece of.
Your trilogy first, and then the last one, or vice versa?
Yeah, I'll do the first trilogy first.
Are
there 9 in total? Well, there are 9 floating around there somewhere. Now, I'll guarantee that 3 are pretty much organized in my head, and there are a lot of notes on it, but the other 3 are kind of out there somewhere.
And then next up, Episode 7.
Episode 7, Star Wars Episode 7. There are 648 days.
648 days.
As of March 10th, my birthday. I'm just going to keep saying that.
That's okay.
March 10th, my birthday.
You're post-Star Wars. You're post-Empire Strikes Back, but you are pre-Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
You came out 3 months before Raiders.
Aww. Yay.
No news about Episode 7.
Nope, none of that.
Rumors, but we're going to wait until actual news.
And now we don't have to do a countdown to Star Wars The Clone Wars.
We can do a negative countdown.
It's been
Negative 1 day.
negative 1 day, and we've watched 6 episodes. That's our countdown.
Now, as for Rebels, there still hasn't really been a date, so let's stop doing Rebels until we have an actual date.
Okay. Well, we'll add a new countdown this week, actually. A countdown to Star Wars Weekends.
Now, Star Wars Weekends happens on the anniversary of Attack of the Clones.
Which is?
Everyone knows it already. May the 16th.
Okay.
2014.
May 16th. So, as of today, how many days are there until May 16th?
You know what? Let's
ask her.
Let's go ahead and ask Siri.
Let me think. The answer is 69 days.
69 more days until Star Wars Weekends.
Yay! So if you need help planning your Star Wars Weekends vacation, you can contact Autumn Barnes with My Mickey Vacation. She is a veteran Star Wars weekender and incidentally a diehard Rebel fan. She can help you with all aspects of your Disney trip, from resort selection to price monitoring, which means that if the price goes down on your trip booking, she'll actually give you the lower price, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the part I hate to do, is all the planning. So I'm very happy to have Autumn Barnes on our side.
Yeah, she does dining reservations. She'll look at the touring plans, which tells you, like, at Disney World which parks are going to be busy and which are not. So you can, use that to see as much as possible during your trip.
That is very helpful.
Yeah. And she does the Fast Pass Plus reservations for you. She basically will plan your whole trip if you want her to. She'll be as hands-on or hands-off as you want.
I want her to.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that.
No.
There's too many details.
Yeah. She'll help you navigate the ins and outs of the weekend, so that way you can be prepared for things like Jedi Mickey and other character meet and greets, which the characters at Star Wars Weekends, that would be so exciting. Also, she'll inform you how to get autograph wristbands and just navigate the event, talks, and presentations. So yeah, booking with Autumn is better than directly booking with Disney because you get to show and share your Star Wars side and take advantage of her free planning services. You can contact her on Facebook.com/Autumn Disney Travel Specialist. And also mention Skywalking Through Neverland to get a special deal on your Star Wars weekend stay. Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for listening to Skywalking Through Neverland.
And once again, thank you everyone for sharing with a friend. We're getting a whole lot of fun comments on Facebook.
Even some Twitter retweets and everything. And yeah, join us on Twitter at SkywalkingPod or on Facebook. Join our Facebook community. We're starting this awesome community with all our special links of the day and quotes of the day. And
there's always something going on at Skywalking Through Neverland.
Yeah. So Facebook.com/Skywalking Through Neverland. And if you have something to talk about.
Well, we're going to continue our series on fan filmmaking.
Yes, okay.
And so we're talking to the experts. So if you have any questions, if you're planning on doing your own fan film, whether it be Star Wars or Disney, let us know, because we've done our own fan films. So we can help you out there too. We are here to help you.
Yeah, so give us a ring, share at skywalkingthrough.neverland.com. I'm not sure why I said give us a ring, because you don't really ring someone's email, but...
That's old school.
Yeah.
That's like a beeper.
Yeah. So many ways to contact us, and we look forward to seeing you all on Facebook. And we also love your feedback.
And your 5-star reviews.
Yes. On Stitcher and iTunes.
If you give us a 5-star review, you know what that will be?
What?
Everything is awesome.
And remember, Neverland on Alderaan.
That wouldn't be awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Thank you for listening to Skywalking Through Neverland. All material submitted becomes the property of Skywalking Through Neverland and are subject for use on our show. You can help support Skywalking Through Neverland by posting about us on Facebook, Twitter, or just tell another fanboy or girl. We would also really appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes. A link to our iTunes page can be found on skywalkingthrough.neverland.com. Skywalking Through Neverland was created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Segment producers are David Scale, Richard Woloski, Sarah Woloski, and Mark Agushowitz. Graphic design and website design by Sarah Woloski. Technical advisor is Peter Heitman. Skywalking Through Neverland is not affiliated with Lucasfilm Limited, Disneyland Resorts, or the Walt Disney Company. All names, sounds, and related items of Star Wars and Disney are registered, trademarked, and copyright Lucasfilm Limited and the Walt Disney Company and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All rights reserved. Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Hey Hey Entertainment, copyright 2013, all rights reserved. No part of this show may be repurposed, reproduced, redistributed, or rebroadcasted without the written permission of Hey Hey Entertainment.
Sorry, all that had to be said.
Goodbye. Live long and prosper. Wait, sorry. May the Force be with you.
And cut. That's a wrap.